When I was 10, I went on a week-long trip with my grandparents. They did this with all my siblings. For each of our 10th birthday, we would get to pick a place in the States to go for about a week. And it would be just us, the birthday child and grandparents. Now for mine, since I was terrified of planes, I chose Branson, Missouri, which is only about 6.5 hours from Rentoul, where my grandparents live. Which doesn't seem that long, but we stopped and saw a few people on the way, and it took a full day before we got there. When we did get there, it was midnight, actual midnight, not 10-year-old midnight. And I wanted to go swimming. Conveniently, there was a little pool right outside the room of the resort we stayed in. But there was one of those signs that said, "Don't swim when the lifeguard is off duty." We went swimming anyway. And every night after that, we went swimming with no lifeguard. We were rebels. So time skip 2 years later, I went on a skiing trip with my dad's side of the family, which is my grandparents, my aunt, and uncle. On the second or third day we went skiing, there was a ski hill that was kind of like the one-up of the bunny trail, which is the beginner hill, and it was pretty big and very intimidating for 12-year-old me. And so, of course, I made my grandpa go with me. And so we were doing and so you know how you help a baby walk when it's first getting better to walk, where they're walking between your legs and you're holding your arms so they don't fall? That's basically what it was, but on skis. and so we were doing the pizza point thing where my skis were in a V and his were in an inverted V until I tripped up. To stop myself, I ducked down, slammed my hands into the snow, and prevented any injury to myself. But the next thing I know, my grandpa is flipping over me, landing on his back, and just laying there for a second. I was stunned, but I hoped he was okay. People around us were shocked and asked if he was okay. He was okay. He got up and helped me down the rest of the way, cautiously. He was even brave enough to let me go down again that day by myself. I've had a good relationship with both my grandparents growing up. I got to see them a lot, and I actually even got to live with them for a little bit when I was younger. Even though they aren't here for most of the year, lucky snowbirds, I still get to see them quite a bit. We sometimes get together just to have dinner when they're in town. I'm pretty lucky to have both my grandparents, especially ones that I'm close to, because a lot of people don't have that relationship, whether they don't have grandparents or the relationship is strained. It may seem pretty animated, and I do love to make people laugh, but I'm not very great at sharing my emotions. That being said, I hope my grandparents will always know how treasured these memories are for me, and how grateful I am for their presence in my life.